We tell you about Red Recovery all the time, redrecover.com. All right. Redrecover.com is, we tell you all the time about red light therapy and how I'm growing my hair back. You see, and here's my hat that I use every day for 15 minutes and I wear it. I already wore it this morning. Sometimes I've worn it right in front of you guys while I'm, doing my show and all that good stuff because it's so easy. And, we, a couple weeks ago, Dr. Francisco Cidral with redrecover.com joined me to talk a little bit about pain therapy because a lot of us, whether you're working out or you suffer injuries and those kind of things, you're trying to recover. And we're trying to do things as natural, as holistically as possible without side effects. If we could do it without medication, that would be fantastic. And that's the beauty of red light therapy. It's not medication. There are no side effects. It's great for the kids. It's great for animals. You can use it for your dogs, and it's great for us. And we talk about pain therapy. I talk about growing hair, but there's also another issue, and it's called scar tissue. And it comes from injuries. It comes from some kind of accident that you had, operation that you had, and then there's scars, and you've got to heal from those scars. Well, guess what? Let's get into it this week. Dr. Francisco Cidral, who's always kind enough and ready to join us. He is there. He's locked and loaded. Doc, how you doing, my friend? You doing good?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
I'm looking forward to this conversation. And Dr. Francisco Cidral, of course, expert in light energy impacts in our health. Dr. Cidral, by the way, has a master and a PhD in neuroscience and a postdoctorate in health science. He specializes in integrative therapies and neurobiology of pain and inflammation, and he also has several clinic studies published internationally on light energy therapy. I did a lot better this time around because there's a lot of long and big words there that confuse me, Doc. I'm not as smart as you guys out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's there's a lot of credits there to what you bring to the table. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Thank you very much. And by the way, you're doing a great job talking to people about this. I mean, there's no point for me just doing the research without somebody that brings it to people's attention. So what you're doing is excellent.
Here's where I give you and Ed a lot of credit. You've given me the raps, and whether it's my wife watching it with her knees because she has chronic issues when it's raining, when it's cold, when she works out, she has some knee issues, and the wraps that you guys have created have really freed up that pain. They've gotten the blood flow going in there, and she feels it. My man Sean, who's our executive producer of the show, he has an old Army injury. Or Marines, right? I'm sorry. Was it Marines, Sean? Right? Yes, Marines. I'm sorry. I don't want to insult it. I did that last time and he got mad at me. I mean, seriously. And so he has a knee that is bone on bone from jumping out of planes.
Wow. Yeah.
And and there's no help there. There's going to be constant pain there. But the wraps allow and alleviate the discomfort and get the blood flow going. And then I see my hair. And as I was developing the natural yarmulke, that a lot of us develop the natural yarmulke, whether we are of the Jewish part of the family or not, we all develop the natural yarmulke, and the red light therapy is now making the yarmulke disappear, which is pretty cool. You know what I mean? So it
takes commitment. Takes commitment and a little while for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm living, Doc. I'm living proof of the progress and the inventions that you guys have created for people like me. And so maybe that's why it's easier to explain, because I'm watching others and myself go through the same. Hey, I'm a side sleeper. Okay. I've been putting the wrap on the right shoulder now. I can sleep again on the right side. So, I got to sleep left and right. Yeah. And so the wrap has helped me with that too.
So the good thing is that, I do want to take a little credit for trying to make this something that everybody can afford and can use. But as I think it was Newton that said that he was standing on shoulders of giants. So this low level light therapy, the same thing is not. We didn't develop it. That's the interesting thing. I mean, we found an easy way to make it accessible, but the research is out there. I mean, that people have been studying this for many years. As I think I made some comments last time we talked,
Yes.
but we have to say that NASA here in the U.S. was one of the greatest contributors to this technology, because back in the day, remember when this first started was with laser diodes, and laser diodes are pretty expensive, and they're very good. I mean, for everything that we're talking about, there's no question about it. There's like thousands of studies already published, but they're less accessible, and if you don't know how to use them, they can be a little problematic. So you have to really understand how to use them and use them well. Though back in the day, in the 80s, when this research was starting to get pretty big, NASA decided to create and develop perfected LED systems that already existed back in the day. But the LED would give out a very broad range of wavelength. It was not very specific, and also the radiance was not that high. And I'll give you an example. Low-level light therapy, it depends on the dose that you use. It has to be a good dose, otherwise it doesn't do anything. It's as
Right.
if you're taking a pill. Like if you take 1/4 of an aspirin, it's not going to do anything because it's not supposed to be just a quarter. So dose is important. And back in the day, they didn't have, the technology was not there. The LEDs were irradiating all over the spectrum, and they didn't have a very high irradiance. So NASA really worked on it and developed what still to this day we call them NASA LEDs, because they were very interested in two different things. One is plant growth in space, because that's a major thing for
That's
space
what they're
stations
doing
and
now.
everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
It's huge, and they to this day they still use low level light therapy with
Oh,
LEDs.
they're
So once,
using it right now
oh yes,
in the station. What's it called? The space station that
the
they
space
have.
station,
They're in
yes,
the middle
absolutely.
of growing their own food. They're in peppers. I saw the other day.
There you go.
The peppers were floating up in the air, and they were
Yep.
grabbing it and inviting it and all that kind
They
of stuff. So it's
irradiate
kind of
it with light therapy in the infrared and the red spectrum. But the other thing that they were very concerned about was the skin of the astronauts. So wound healing was a major issue, because if you're up there, you can get injuries pretty easily. It's kind of hard for it to heal. And they did a lot of interesting studies. First, within the team of engineers trying to develop a better LED that would focus more on a specific wavelength and also with a higher irradiance, so that it could be used in lieu of lasers, which are very good but are more expensive. And also a laser, generally you have maybe one, two, maybe even three, four diodes in place. An LED, you can have hundreds
yeah,
and assemble an array of them, and then you can treat a much larger area all of at the same time. And because
right.
there are not so many of the problems with the dosing and everything else, it's easy enough so that you can put them in sleeves like we're doing, and then bringing it to a larger number of people. So that, like I said, we're standing on shoulders of giants that already developed this and investigated and perfected. And but we decided that that was my dream since I was in college. Like, I want to make this accessible. I want to bring this to a lot of
Well, you're
people. I
doing it.
want everybody
Doing it.
to try it, and that's the idea. So
Right.
for wound
And by the
healing,
way, on the shoulder of giants, now I can sleep on my right shoulder. So thank you.
there we
Thank
go.
you very much. And so in this month's conversation, we talked to you about the hair growth, and I tell you about it all the time. We talked to you about pain relief. So the doc just mentioned right now injuries, which we all suffer. And then sometimes scars are left. And then sometimes you're left with that scar
Yeah.
permanently there as a reminder. And you wonder, is there a way that we could make it heal better, where maybe possibly the scar completely disappears or most of it disappears instead of a lot of it still leaving and lingering and things like that? And sometimes you're embarrassed about that scar. Well, red
Yes.
light therapy can help you with that.
Yes.
And Dr. Cidral is going to explain it. Sean, if you can, please pull up the before and after pictures. And this is someone who had it was a foot surgery, correct? And it was a big scar in the foot surgery, if I'm correct.
Correct.
And
Correct.
look at the left side of the screen
This is only
before the red
20
light
days.
therapy. Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doc. You take over now since
So
it's
that
all
so
yours.
that that's only 20 days later. I mean, how incredible is it, right? And look at the
Right.
scarring. I mean, the tissue, and why does it happen that way? Because low level light therapy at in the specific wavelengths and the radiance that we're using, it has a lot of interesting effects. It increases angiogenesis, with this the formation of the new you know arteries in the area, and so it helps with the circulation in there. Neovascularization, that's how we call it. So that's a very good effect. The other one is increases the production of collagen. So that's something that is very important for the skin, as and then you're in this process. The other thing, of course, when you have a cut like that, you have an increased sensibility in the area, which is called an allodynia or hypersensitization of the area. So if you touch it, normally, if you touch your skin, you don't feel pain. But if you touch around the area, then you feel it. So there is an hyperactivation of the receptors in that area transmitting the pain. So with low level light therapy, you have a reduction of that effect. So apart from decreasing pain, that is part of the process, there is also a decrease in inflammation and decrease in the creation of the edema, or the formation of the edema in the area. So the skin is going to be able to form again easier. Also an increase in cartilage production, and all those things combined: less inflammation, less pain, more collagen, more vascularization. So the blood flow goes in there, and also it can extract all the byproducts of this regeneration process. If by any chance you also had a nerve there, it also helps with the nerve regeneration. So in this case, imagine 4 weeks later, and you have this.
Right.
It's
It's amazing.
incredible.
It's amazing. And this is why, Doc's going to be joining us every month to talk about this red light therapy. This is a game changer, a life changer. And, they want to tie us to drugs a lot of times. And sometimes they think that the drugs are the answer to everything. And you've got to find other options, and holistic options, and other options that are healthier options, because obviously we like things that don't give us any side effects, and red
There we
light
go.
therapy is one of those things that can help you with pain, that can help you with discomfort. And the doc talks about blood flow. That goes for the hat, by the way. Not only are you getting the therapy of possibly regenerating those hair follicles and hopefully growing it. It's not guaranteed, but maybe you can regenerate it. But at the same time, that red light is penetrating, allowing also blood flow in your brain to work. And that will help you also in everything else that you do every day. And then you see, those pictures of the before and after with injuries. We talk to you about pain. Red light therapy, the benefits are endless, and they can help you in so many ways. That's why we're going to bring you a segment like this every month with Dr. Francisco Cidral, so you can find out more about red light therapy. Doc, uh, obviously they could go to redrecover.com
Correct.
and explain how this is also, there you go. That's another example there. Can you explain that example there?
So that was actually a surgery, and this picture there is only, it's a little bit more than a month later, 38 days. You see the recovery process, you know. And the interesting thing that I just would like to mention is that you said something about drugs, right? That generally we've taken drugs and we try not to do that. I mean, I try to do that because I'm a naturopathic doctor myself, so I try to stay away from that. But remember, our body already generates, the body and your brain generates everything that you need. You know that morphine, for instance, is very good for pain, right?
Right.
So your body generates endorphins, which is like hundreds of times more potent than morphine. And when you stimulate your body with low level light therapy, you're actually increasing the production of those natural
Right.
analgesics that your body produces.
Is that kind of part of the thing when they tell you that you should take a cold shower in the morning because it kind of regenerates? I forgot what they were
Activates
talking.
your overall circulation. It's
Yeah,
very good for
circulation.
the brain. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Because I know it's hard for all of us to get into a cold shower, but like the benefits are amazing, and that's something that people don't realize. You know what I mean? That what a simple cold shower could do for you. And so you look at red light therapy, and you're like, Well, wait a minute. Come on, bro. This is just a bunch of red lights. No, 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 no. And it's just a game changer. And that's why we tell you go to redrecover.com, use our code Big O. You will get 10% off there. All right. Check it out. See what part of your body you may need. You may be struggling with a knee, an ankle, shoulder, neck, back, maybe hair. You never know. Maybe you've got some kind of a scar that you just recently had some surgery and you need to treat. Go to redrecover.com. And don't forget, they've got a link up on the top that says contact us. Ed and his staff are just absolutely phenomenal. They will answer your questions. So if you have a specific issue you want to ask about, ask first,
Please,
and
yeah.
they can lead you to the right wrap or the right treatment that you need in order to get to it. Final thoughts, Doc. What do you think?
Well, I think that, we keep talking about use it if you have a problem. I think that the best use for it is if you don't have anything. Why do
That's
you
right.
wait till you get a symptom? Start taking care of your body before anything manifests.
That's
Right?
right. That's right. You go to work out, treat those
Do
knees.
it
Give it,
before,
give it
do it
some. Yeah,
afterwards. Yes.
right.
Even if you don't have a
Exactly.
pain, you still increasing your body's ability to keep it, healthy.
Preventive
That's the key.
not medicine, but preventive treatment, in other words.
Correct.
And by the way, that's what Hayden Hurst does, the
Hmm.
tight end for the Bengals. He uses it before and after his workouts to kind of optimize his performance too, because he gets the blood flow going and everything. So the
There we
doc
go.
is right. It's not to wait till you have a scar, wait till you have pain, wait till you're losing your hair. No, it's actually maybe preventive. So yeah, you're right.
Correct.
So if you do have a good set of hair, do it now before you lose it.
Yes,
Make
correct.
it even stronger. There you go.
Correct.
Create
There
more.
you go. That's the idea.
Dr. Francisco Cidral, thank you, sir. We look
Thank you.
forward to your conversation next month as you educate us on red light therapy. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
You got it, Dr. Francisco Cidral. Redrecover.com. Use our code Big O and get 10% off.